Hey there, everyone. Welcome. It's Lotus with Art of Sacred Embodiment. Thanks for being here, and thank you for liking and subscribing if you find that the content resonates with you. I very much appreciate it, and I appreciate the sharing the vibe. So, what this is the newsletter that I usually send out, and it's still going out in email form. But I wanted to do more of a video to connect with everybody else who is not on the newsletter and just give some overview happening right now. So in the newsletter, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about changes in my offerings. I'm going to start doing in-person sessions again. I'm also going to be doing an event at a place locally, a lovely healing center that most of you local will know, Energistic, on the 16th. So look at the details in the newsletter for that. And yeah, my private sessions are going to be primarily working with light language, of course, but intentionality in the frequencies that you're wanting to upgrade in your system. And we're going to hear a little bit more of why I'm coming back in person and why this feels important right now. For the community and for the collective. And of course, I still do sessions online as well. So that's that little blip. So I took some notes. So we've got Lionsgate coming up on the 8th, right? This is the 8/8 portal. This is a cosmic alignment that happens every year, and every year it's getting stronger because the energetics in the cosmos and on our planet are getting stronger. And this alignment is this portal, right? It's this cosmic portal that opens for us, that begins to enable us to access the higher quantum realms and the spiritual realms easier. We have been in this portal starting in July, and this kind of kicks off, so we got the big climax, and then it's going to quiet for a little bit, and then we're going to move into the 9/9, the 10/10, the 12/12, or the 10/10, the 11/11, the 12/12 portal, and then winter solstice at 12/21. So these are climaxes where we can up-level very quickly, expand our consciousness very quickly, and embody more of our divinity, which is really just our soul presence, our higher soul presencing. So the Lion's Gate is the day before the Aquarius full moon, which I guess that would be then it's on the 9th. So that's Saturday. I do a monthly full moon and new moon activations with light language, and we do a journey with all the qualities that are present over on Patreon. So please hop over there if you want to participate. That would be lovely to have you. And what I love about this is that having the Lion's Gate and the moon, those energies are just so profoundly high, right? Meaning high qualities, high expressions, where we have access to our higher self expressions. We could say our new divine human that is landing. We have more access to those aspects and qualities of ourselves because both the Lion's Gate, where we're working with that regalness and royalty, which we go into And it's still available for that new moon in Leo over on Patreon. But then we've got, the visionary energy and that archetypal potency of Aquarius, which is all about, community. It's new. It's everything new. So this is a really beautiful, beautiful window that we're in to bring all of our intentionality and harness our thought forms, our emotional patterns, begin to work with our mastery to hone them into a higher alignment so that when we come out of this portal, we will have rebirthed in some way, shape, or form in our being. And then whenever we rebirth in our being, we are rebirthing something in our external world as well. So very, very, very auspicious time that we're in right now. And I'm assuming everybody is kind of feeling that as well. So part of why I'm bringing back in person, when we had COVID, everything went online. I went online for a number of reasons, and it felt better for me. It felt like I could reach more people, support people with more ease and grace. Now, with the shifts that are happening collectively and the energetics that are happening collectively and the deep, deep need for us to really be pulling in this light and anchoring it into our physicality, into that embodiment, is where we're going to find the inner stability, right? Depending on how you've structured your life and where you are plugged into information in the world or in your communities or, families, all of that, that all has an impact on us, right? And so the invitation, as we're looking more and more at this new earth, or I also call heaven on earth, landing, right? It lands through us. We are a living bridge. We are this living technology that holds these frequencies, that carry the new consciousness, that carry the new structures, that carry the new systems to support a much different reality. And the more stabilized we are through our own internal foundation and templates, the more coherent we are. And it is the coherence, and the coherence allows love to expand through our consciousness, through our, not just our heart, but through all of our cells, right? And the more that takes place within us, the more we live in a higher reality. The closer we get to accessing and maintaining and sustaining that new earth experience. So these are kind of some of the focuses that I'm going to be working with people. These are only going to be 60-minute sessions, right? And we're going to just really be working intentionally with the frequencies that will best serve each person to continue to expand their own heart center and coherence and anchor it in to embody that light. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now, but I am starting to book sessions that will be beginning in the middle of September. But what I loved about this is that Pam Gregory put it in such a great, way, coming from the astrology perspective, but also in a much more, I wouldn't say science-based necessarily, but kind of, which that isn't normally the way that I communicate. So I usually know it intuitively, and then I'm really grateful for people who put it into like really concise, grounded formats. So I wanted to share a little bit about what she was sharing because it resonated so much, and it was that affirmation of yes, this is. Thank you for clarifying this for me, Pam. So part of what she's talking about, and I'm going to put the link to this whole video down below for anybody who wants to give it a listen. She's actually in communication. It's an interview with a member of the Heart Coherence Collective. And so they're really talking about, these changes and how we individually will make the difference when we really focus on connecting and cultivating and living from these next level spaces in us. So part of what she's talking about during this accelerated evolutionary process that we're in of ascension or awakening or whatever we want to call it, is that particularly because of the planetary, the way that the planets are structuring right now, we have, how does she talk about it? We have all of the outer planets that have moved into new signs. And so what we're experiencing then is, that's, I think she says Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, did I write it down? Saturn and Uranus. And so I'm not an astrologer, so you'll want to pay attention to her. But all of this new is overlapping everything that is dismantling and breaking down. So it's like we've got new inspirations, new creativity, new ideas, new aspects of ourselves coming online while we are still, I don't know if you can hear that, sorry, while we are still very much connected to the old structures dismantling. So there's kind of like this quaking outside of us, which is why we want to stabilize our own inner core and understand that we have templates, right? We have energetic templates that we're anchoring or we have access to, which is what we'll be doing in the private work. So all of these high frequencies that are quickening, right? They're intensifying. They're like this speed is picking up from the cosmic influxes. And Sandra Walter breaks those down into the types of energetics, such as, the crystalline energies, the plasma energies, I can't remember what else. And all of those have very different information that they're bringing and that are landing, and they have different sensations and different, how do I experience them? Textures, okay? When we're connecting and accessing them, or when they're knocking on our energy field to be received. So as this happens, it is increasing sort of like this, this breaking apart of all of the old thought forms, right? All of the old ways in which we have built our world on. the systems, the beliefs, the paradigms, the programming. All of this is breaking apart. And it's happening really quickly because of the intensity of these cosmic energies. It's not just happening in the world, right? It's happening inside of us as well, depending on where you're at in your journey and what has not been addressed or what hasn't come up to the surface yet to be cleared, to be resolved, to be integrated, to come into that higher level of divine unification. So the old energetic structures, right? So the foundations that our world has been on have been rooted in a 3D, a very dense configuration. Dense like a rock, right? Think about, or like, this beautiful onyx guy that I have to help me ground, right? This holds density. The dark stones and crystals are part of our grounding and keeping our physicality intact. And what's happening is that old physicality of all of that, it can't stay stable anymore, because as these frequencies come in, we're coming from a 3D into 4D. So the density isn't as dense. So it's not as solid, even though it still feels like it. So as all of these frequencies keep coming in, the frequency of our planet and of our consciousness keeps rising, and as more light keeps lifting everything, everything is renewed, but it has to break down, which is what it's doing. And so what she says about this is like, this isn't necessarily just woo-woo. This is like the physics of energy, right? This is Dr. Osra Bertrand always says, this is true woo, right? Not woo-woo, it's true woo. So, and anybody who's on this, on this channel or on my Patreon, you're going to know that and understand that, because this is the path that you're on, and this is what you're doing, and this is what you're experiencing and witnessing and feeling. And it can be really exciting, and it can be like really not exciting and just hard sometimes. So what I loved about everything that she said was that this was so much of the information that I was getting as I've been going through my own, over the last 6 months, inner structuring, inner restructuring with new codes of light that are literally creating a new scaffolding inside my being, and creating a new kind of anchoring based on light and based on the higher information and consciousness that needs to come in to continue to embody, to transform us into our divine human. Right? So it's really a beautiful time, and I would not have been saying that, even though I knew it intellectually a week ago, maybe even, 6 months ago for periods of time. The restructuring is very real. And when we can do that in community with support, whether that is, like on the Patreon page, slowly it's building. We've got new tiers starting to come on, but that's a different video. But I'm wanting to start doing in-person gatherings again. And so this month will be at Energistic, and perhaps I'll continue. I still will have the online new moon or full moon and new moon videos. So I'm trying to shift it up a little bit more because I know some people really want in-person connection. And some people either aren't local or online. Being able to do replays whenever it works in your schedule is easier. So I'm dancing with how to create opportunities and support and connection for more of us. So I also have every other Wednesday, the first and third Wednesday of the month is Remembering Your Wholeness. And those are classes that also have a replay if you can't make it. They're by donation only. And those who are able to make it live, we are working with different topics along this awakening journey. This Wednesday is going to be all about our highest self, which is in essence our soul light and soul aspects that are higher dimensional, that are embodying, that are guiding us, that are us. So we're going to be working with that. And again, that's the first and third Wednesday. Replays are usually over on Patreon. And I have shadow processing videos that I'm putting on every week or every other week for a while, for a time, where we go through different scenarios, right? Different ways that our shadow shows up, and we have an opportunity to learn how to work with these efficiently, proficiently, so that it just becomes second nature, right? It's just how we operate naturally, because we're always dancing with parts of us that, need to be acknowledged or are still kind of wounded or need to, like, they surface, right? That we don't get to see them until we're ready. And how do we actually just work with them, without shaming ourselves? It just is a natural part of union. So I'm also going to be working over there on Patreon with Divine Union, not as in Divine Union relationship, but as the larger meaning of Divine Union, which really is integrating all of life in a unified, coherent, heart-centered consciousness. And then I will also be working with sacred union, with romantic relationships and partnership for those who are wanting to expand, deepen, or increase your relational IQ, whether you're single or in a partnership, and going deeper, making our way towards the divine union relationship. But that's not really the focus of the sacred union. So anyway, there's a lot that's happening because these are the new templates that are ready now to land. And within the Divine Union tier on Patreon, it's really about mastery. And so I'm going to have a couple videos on that. What do I mean by mastery? What does it mean coming from my embodiment perspective? And what and how does that connect to our evolution into our divine human? So that is really, I think that's it for this August video. And please reach out if you have any questions, if you want to talk about scheduling, or you want to schedule one of the new sessions coming up, really looking forward to doing those. And if you want to join in at Energistic, then go over to Energistic, and I'll put the links. All these links will be below. And they'll also be in the newsletter for those of you who get the newsletter and are on the mailing list. I think I said everything. Looking at my little notes. Yeah, I did. So have a fabulous August if we don't connect. And I will see you again in September. Have an amazing Lionsgate in whatever way it shows up. And full moon. And maybe I'll see you for the full moon or new moon activations. That would be lovely. Or remembering your wholeness. That will be this next Wednesday. This coming Wednesday. Yeah. On the highest self. All right. Much love. Many blessings. Much peace.